Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another episode of Shots of Serenity podcast. I am your host, Jasmine St. John, and this is a beautiful space to land where we love to explore ways to welcome peace and love into our lives through mindfulness, soul care, and self exploration. Alrighty, loves. So, really unplanned. Today's gonna almost be like a extension of our most recent episode, our birthday episode. So if you have not checked that one out, please go and listen. We are going to be talking about non-attachment, attachment, detachment, the attaching of things. First, I want to talk a little bit about how we even got here. Some themes that have been going on in my life that's been allowing me to notice, okay, what is your relationship with this thing? At least more recently is getting back into dancing. So if many of you guys don't know, I have been dancing my entire life. Love dance down. And I remember being in the backyards of my grandma, and she always throwing parties, and my family's Caribbean. And so always winding my waist and getting involved in things at school. And so dancing was always really freeing to me, loving to do splits and stretch and all the different things. And that has went on up until college. And I think I mentioned to you guys, I felt disconnected, that I wasn't involved in something for quite some time. And so I decided to do a pageant. And in that pageant, there were several different elements, but one of them is a talent. And so I've always loved integrating the different parts of my life. So not only was there a spoken word poem piece to it, but there was a dance piece to it. But in that dance piece, it was a mashup of different songs. And so even that was a little scary, because I'm just okay, a lot of my identity is being in dance, but this was very, very scary and different, especially because of the time in between. Ever since then, I was oh, I'm getting bored again. And so that's how Shots of Serenity was birthed, because I wanted to get uncomfortable and mix things up. But since then, I haven't really done any dancing. And so even to a point where I feel like I've lost, before I used to say I've lost my rhythm, but I was given a reframe that it's one of those things, once you have it, you never really don't have it. It's either you have it or you don't. But I do think because I'm so wrapped up in my mind that I'm not connected to my body in that way. Or the musicality of things, or being able to learn choreography. It literally feels like there's a part of my brain that got shut off. And there's been a lot of judgment towards it, because I started dance classes probably about a year ago from the summer time, end of spring, summertime. And it was even difficult then. I was very stressful, and I lied. Even before that, I tried out one dance studio, but it was hip hop. And respectfully, I've never even been a hip hop girly. The most hip hop was shaking my ass, but never choreographed hip hop. And so that obviously was just oh my gosh. And then the vibe of that studio was very not beginner friendly. And it wasn't with the mindset of this is body awareness, kind of what I needed. And so that was a little scary. But because it was so scary, I love challenges. I'm hell no. You have been dancing your whole life, and the fact that it feels like this, we got to get this back going, get this back together, no matter how long it takes. Did not know what I was putting myself into. So a few months after, that's when I went to the dance studio that I'm at now. And oh my God, they're heaven sent. I've only really experienced 2 instructors through different styles, whether that is dance hall, Caribbean fusion, contemporary, stretch and technique. What else have I done with them? I think that's it. I don't think I've never been to a ballet class or anything like that. But that is my bread and butter, Caribbean music, contemporary. I used to really love jazz. I did tap dance for 1 year. And I was in the color guard. It was, I don't even know what you would call that. It was not really hip hop, but it was y'all know how them dancers, majorettes be dancing. And so that was a lot of the foundation, and ballet as well. But ballet is very technique heavy, very strength heavy, and I just knew that would not be the first thing. So I'm getting somewhere with this story. After going constantly, I am really having a lot of negative self-talk about how I feel about dancing and my movement, not being able to understand the choreography and remember it, feeling like there is no emotion or expression in my dancing, probably being one of the people in the studios that was probably like, that's, those people in a task or in a group thing, like, okay, they need some time, and that's okay, but not, it wasn't okay for me because I was that person, and I think I'm still being that person. And so again, there's not like another layer of, oh, babe. And even with my partner, like, again, always loved dancing. It was never a problem to like dance and be weird in front of her or actually like give her a dance. Even to a point where now I'm just like, don't look at me. I can't give you a dance. And like everything, I believe in self-exploration and or curiosity. And so the fact that this is a space I went to now, it literally feels like night and day. This is a part of what brought me to this topic of like attachment, like that I'm not in that, that's not, I want to say I'm not in that body, or that's not my body, but my body has evolved since then, and learning it and understanding it through movement in that way is what I feel like I'm being called to ask. And of course, through the process, there's like judgment with it and me just feeling like sad and a lot of shame. There is me noticing like a lack of self-confidence, because I think as I'm exploring the root reason, it is being so worried about everybody else in the studio and how I'm perceived. And because of that, that's naturally going to bring your body in this like fight flight response and telling yourself you're not safe. And so, hell no, I'm not worrying about musicality. I'm not remembering these moves. And I've been so disconnected from my body in that way, it feels very foreign. And so there was like the thought process of like, but I talk about somatic exercises all the time. I talk about embodiment all the time and knowing how I'm feeling. And so going through that phase of it and slowly coming to the understanding that, one, that's why movement and holistic wellness in general is so important, because yeah, you may know your body with how emotions feel or when there's tension, but are you noticing your body when there's the lack of emotional safety? Or are you also knowing your body when there is like musicality and the need to be fluid in movement? Are you understanding your body beyond just like strength training, but even when you are working out that in that way, breathing? And I think I really was learning that when I was more intentional about like yoga practices, but I went more of the route of breath work and meditation because that really resonated. And so there really is no yoga practice. There's a stretch. I stretch, but not like flow of vinyasa and stuff like that. And so just these aha moments are just like, baby, you were attached to that version of a dancer, or what you feel like a dancer is supposed to be, or how you used to dance. And of course, I had to go through that to be able to talk to you guys about it now and to kind of like see the beauty of it. I mean, it still feels different, but I can even tell now, just going to classes and still showing up, even when I looked awkward, even if that's trying to like focus a little bit more about looking at myself or understanding what I do need for musicality and rhythm. Like, to me, that is progress. And I can be so obsessed and committed with things where I'm just like, I've already started. And so even when we move, I need to get back to a space. I know what I want and what I need in a dance studio. And I'm probably not going to find that the first couple of times. I mean, we'll go ahead and manifest and ask God that it could be a one and done thing. But I'm also open to if that's not the case. And I'm committed to figuring out and getting back in my body in that way and feeling confident dancing again and feeling confident being in my body in that way. I think I would have so much more regret if not. So that's the kind of little setup to how we got there. Also, something else that I won't go on a long-winded talk about, because I think I dived deep into it in our last episode, is this preparation for this move and like reintegrating back into various interpersonal relationships have also been what's been making me explore attachment, especially with the move is just like throwing crap away, things we don't need, things that we've acquired for so long, but also still being sad about things that's also been around for so long. We were throwing out some clothes and different things, and I'm like, I remember when we did this and that outfit, or when we did this here, or even our couch. Our couch is tired and needs to go, but our couch has been with us, and it's just like we had movies and all these things with it, but the couch may be a little bit easier because baby, let it go. But even in just like dishes and certain appliances, I'm just like, okay, relationship with attachment, right? Then therapy. Therapy gonna do it to you. The soft landing, a gentle return to yourself, a space to arrive exactly as you are. No filters, no performance, just presence. If you don't know, we're going to be announcing our offering dates quarter by quarter. So quarter one was so beautiful. Thank you for all of those who showed up, who showed out, who supported. You are greatly appreciated. And for quarter two, i.e. April, May, June, we have April 11th and 12th, which is my birthday month. And we have May the 9th and the 10th, and June 6th to the 7th. We so hope to see you there. My therapist suggested that we go through this book together. It's like called Yamas and Pranayamas, I believe. I'll show you guys it or insert a picture, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Again, I'm setting up for the little, I don't even know if this is a right basketball turn, the little alley-oop. The dunk troop days back there. It's like, yes, that's the turn. I'm setting up for it, so bear with me. So she suggested this book that we read together, and we literally started in the middle of the book, and the first thing was about attachment and non-attachment. And in the Sanskrit, the word is Aparigraha. And so I've been trying to implement that in my life. Me and Jessica have been, I think I mentioned before, starting these like words of the week. We fell off, so we need to get back on. But something we used to do when we were together, like before. And so I've been really, trying to learn how to make sure I spell it correctly, I'm saying it correctly. But noticing, I think with Sanskrit words, you feel how they feel in your body. You don't just say it. Like non-attachment, boo. Aparigraha, ooh. For me. So again, all these little moments that are being set up. And so it is one of the yamas, right? Which is essentially one of the 8 limbs of yoga. And it's interesting that now I'm saying it out loud. We've gone on to other parts of the book. And the whole book is about yoga. And I was just mentioning how yoga is a practice where I think being able to breathe and get back in your body through flow in that way could also be really helpful for dance. And so we'll see what practice needs to be tweaked till we move in. So practices are shooken up anyways. But essentially the yamas, they serve as it's said to serve as like an ethical guide of life. And the goal is to release that monkey brain energy and increase your spiritual awareness, your spiritual hygiene. And like I said, we are not reading it from beginning to end. We are reading it kind of in the middle towards the end. And I'm already like, okay, these are some beautiful life principles. These are beautiful things to kind of like check in on. So I wanted to share it with you guys, right? And so again, Aparigraha means non-attachment, non-grasping, non-possessiveness. Is like nothing is yours. That mindset that nothing is yours. You get to experience things, but nothing aren't yours. And we've been talking about this. These thoughts aren't yours. These material things aren't yours. Grieving with like the attachment to identity and who you thought you were going to be versus what reality is presenting, or attachment to these relationships, right? Now I'm thinking about it. It's like my episodes be making sense. They be connecting. That just really goes to show y'all I be really trying to be vulnerable and tapped in and letting y'all know, like, this is what a nigga going through, all right? This is what I've experienced from it. Like, take what you need and leave what you don't, all right? Anyways, some other things that was coming up is also, yes, attachment, but how I can go to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, which is not non-attachment, it's detachment, right? And language is so important because I think of the word codependence, and we talked about it a little bit in our previous episode. And in the book we were reading with our therapist, it wasn't just dependence is not the complete opposite of independence. anti-dependence is. And so same thing with attachment. Attachment, the complete end of the spectrum isn't non-attachment, it's detachment. Like you're putting up a wall, you don't even care. And in this understanding and these experiences, I notice where sometimes it's like, okay, I won't be attached, I'll be detached. And that's when the ego kind of comes up, and it's just like, Buki, the avoidance attachment is coming up with love. And so just noticing that in a lot of aspects, I can be very, very gray, very nuanced. I think that is another premise of these episodes. But also, when I feel some type of emotional threat, I can be detached. Like, okay, older sibling, oldest daughter syndrome, I've had to figure it out, baby. I'll figure it out on my own. Whoop-de-doo, it's gonna get done. And if it don't get done, I'll release the attachment of wanting to need it, right? Ego. Ego. Of course, do your own research, right? Let's kind of ground down to my intentions. But if it resonates, I really invite you to explore your relationship with attachment, your relationship with detachment, your relationship with non-attachment, and seeing what are some areas in your life that some of these things are kind of surfacing, and what's your relationship with it. It could be like, no, this is a practice that I live my life by. And even if it is, where are you right now in the relationship with it? An example that they also gave in the book is relationship with food. And y'all know, if you know me, you OG, you know that's the only example I needed that I'm gonna resonate with, especially in Taurus season. Food, you know what? Hell yeah, sign me up. By the way, brains getting off, I don't know where I got that from. I've been watching Stranger Things, and I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was something on Instagram where the person's like, you know what? Hell yeah. I just been saying that. But anywho, the example they gave in the book is she was talking about, like, if you go to a restaurant and you like a meal and it's really, really good, and then you keep going back and forth, and then you get to a point where maybe the meal wasn't created or cooked correctly and you no longer want it. And I'm just like, girl, you in my home? Because one thing me and Jessica are going to also do is find some good food. And there's been several times a laundry list of examples, and we can have some for Tallahassee, we can have some for Orlando, where we have like really enjoyed a meal from somewhere, and we've ate it, and we either get bad, I want to say bad customer service, but I'm not gonna lie, that's the one thing I'll fold on. Anything else, you're not gonna bully me and make me spend my hard-earned money, earn money on some crappy service. Like, that's crazy to me, especially someone who like had customer service experience. And I don't be on the energy of the customer is always right, because sometimes people be tripping and the Karens will Karen. But if I don't come there with none of that and your customer service is horrible, like, no, thank you. But food does have an exception. I'm not gonna lie. There's been times where if the food is not made good that time and we spend a whole bunch of money on it and the customer service bad, it's like, well, we're done. And the attachment to that food and that restaurant goes out the window. And so going back to the book, she mentioned, like, what if there's a practice where you thoroughly just, you enjoy that meal in the moment, and that, not that you'd never get to have it again, but instead of feeling like, oh, I kept getting that, I gotta get it back, I gotta get it back. And it's like, what if you're just an experience of it? When you're eating, are you noticing all the flavors that are in the meal? Are you chewing slow enough where you actually get to enjoy the action of this good food? And of course, that's more easier said than done, especially because food for a lot of people are a part of pleasure. And life is already very ghetto. And goodness forbid you find something pleasurable. It does feel like, let's just keep going. But I thought that was a really nice example, because the whole part is, this is an ethical principle. This is something, a way of life. And so if you find yourself constantly attached to these different things, it doesn't have to be cold turkey, never go to that restaurant again and only have it once. That's not realistic. We are also very human, right? Like the thought process of never be too spiritual or on your high spiritual horse that you forget that we're on ground and that we're on earth. And so I'm not saying to never enjoy food, but even noticing it in that way. And an example that I have, there's this sandwich place down the street from our house, and it is so good. I don't like cold sandwiches. Yes, there may be a food problem, but we're not talking about this today because all these examples are with food. But awareness, no judgment, right? This is my life, my experience. And with that, I remember having that sandwich for lunch. Thinking about it now. And then we didn't feel like cooking, so just go like, what you want for dinner? That sandwich again. Please let me enjoy the sandwich again. And I got the sandwich again. And the crazy thing is I ate it just as fast as I ate it for lunch, to a part where I'm just like, damn, the sandwich is gone. So little things like that, check in with yourself. So 4 ways I've been trying to check in with myself as it relates to attachment outside of like processing and therapy, self-reflection and curiosity is dancing. As I mentioned, we're going to keep going. And I have even like a second before I'm trying to breathe. I speak life into myself. And so utilizing all the tools that, one, we talk about, or two, that has been accumulated throughout the years to help me, right? Ground yourself, let your nervous system know not only are you okay, but you are well and you can do this well. Is it a magic wand where I go in there and I'm back to my old self? No, but it does. It's been making me feel a little bit more supported. Even if that means for me going all the way to the back of the line, like, oh, go up to the next line. Work your way to the front, right? Take up space. Sometimes I'll just be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I don't have to be a butthole about it, but this is dance floor. Like, we're moving, and even stuff like that has been kind of difficult. Something else that I have on here is like, another way I've been trying to practice it is with like break and work. And so not attaching to myself to like, oh my God, I have to sit here and forever do all this work because it needs to be done. Or, oh my God, I'm enjoying myself, relaxing so much on vacation. I need to be here forever. When I go back, I can continue and dilly and dally. That's attachment to a feeling and to an experience. There are times when it is time to work and times where it's time to have fun, and they're both needed. Like always, not going too far left, not going too far right. Trying to mindfully eat as often as possible, and sometimes that looks like just catching myself when I'm moving too fast, or sometimes it is me trying to chew a little bit more. On really, really amazing days, I'm actually counting my chews. Sometimes if I'm in between sessions and I don't have to like watch something, I'll allow myself to eat and then we'll get up and go walk. Or if it is my break and I am watching something while eating, then allowing myself to do that. Shooting my shot on like business endeavors, not thinking too hard about stuff. Are you open to record? Is this something that I can do? Just trying a new thing out instead of me trying to get so caught up in like, how is this going to work when it's perfect timing? And just throw it out there and run away. And so releasing myself to the attachment of an outcome, asking for something that kind of comes in my mind. And if it's yes, yay. If it's no, okay. Instead of like, oh my God, it's no. What if that means it's not good for me? This is the sign to stop going. Like, no, babes, it's just no, or not right now. And obviously that is their daily practices and reminding myself of that. The last thing that I'll touch on that's on my list is like being mindful of my preferences, like how I would like things to go. And I think it's okay, right? Everything has duality. We all have preferences. We all have things that we would like. But am I not doing it because it's my preference? It would be nice, but also life is not always nice. What is the focus? Are we trying to get a task completed? Are we okay with moving through the experience? So like just being more mindful of my preferences and how I choose to move forward depending on the emotion or even my preference at the time. And so do I feel like going to get up and walk? No, but it may be helpful. Even if I feel like going and walk should make me lose the however many pounds and that it's not reality, it doesn't work like that, that's fine. We're putting in daily deposits. Friendly reminders. I have to kind of give that other end of the spectrum. It's human to enjoy things. I am not saying to not enjoy things, because again, pleasure is important. It's a whole chakra. Okay, pleasure and desire is not only important, but it is also a part of our basic needs. It's important that we are mindful of that. We're going to like things. We're going to have preferences. They're important. Seeking pleasure is understood. Shit, some people can be really invigorating, because we didn't talk about it, but there's attachment to people, right? Sometimes there's places and things that make us feel super euphoric and make us feel really good, and enjoy those moments and enjoy it in the moment. Some things are going to also make us feel crappy, and why are we going through this? And that's okay. Feel that in the moment, but we don't have to create meaning of it. And it does not have to be like just messing up, throwing off the whole vibe. Now we're just done. I didn't like that this happened, so I'm done. No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't know what I meant by this, but it sounds funny. So take what you need and leave what you don't. But the last thing that I have on here, of course, is an eating reference, is to eat up all of what is in front of you. Enjoy it when it's in front of you, and be okay and be aware when it's time to let it go and move forward. I probably could have elaborated a little bit. What is coming up for me now is enjoy it, eat it all up, have fun, take everything that you need, maximize the situation with integrity, right? Don't be shooting nobody down in the meantime or doing some slimy stuff just while you're eating it all up. I got to put that in there, because the ego can get to those. And when it's time to let it go, when it's time to move forward, allow yourself to let it go and to move forward. Okay. So this is a very fun conversation. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that you guys are enjoying our episodes in general. And yeah, I think we had some practices in there. We had some reflection moments. We had some like storytelling. So this feels like a nice rounded episode. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Please share this with someone that you feel like can resonate with this conversation. Please let me know how you're feeling about this conversation. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.